Hello and welcome to Mining 901. I'm Abu Rengwi. If you follow mining, you know that the start of the year is always packed with big industry events. You've got the Future Minerals Forum in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, where the big players set the agenda for the year. Then you have the Mining Indaba in Cape Town, where between rounds of golf and maybe a few fermented beverages, executives try and make sense of where the industry is headed, at least for the year. So if you only have about 10 to 12 minutes to catch up on the world of mining in 2025, this video is for you. So I've been reading quite a few documents, in fact, quite a lot of documents from Deloitte, EY, PwC, McKinsey & Co., and just gathering general insights from South Africa's mining sector. And when you do that, a clear picture starts to emerge. Mining is at a turning point. And in my view, there are 8 shifts that we can expect to see in 2025. The first shift, let's call it show me the money. The big scramble for investment. Mining is a high-stakes financial game right now. Companies need enormous amounts of capital to fuel the energy transition. But investors are not exactly handing out blank checks. They want returns, and they want those returns now, today. So what are miners doing? We're seeing a wave of mergers and acquisitions. Companies are consolidating, cutting costs, and restructuring their portfolios to better focus on high-demand minerals, your so-called critical minerals. For example, copper, lithium, nickel. Then there is private capital. Big money from outside the industry is flooding into the mining sector, looking to get a slice of the action. But as we saw with BHP's $50 billion bid for Anglo, even deep pockets sometimes don't guarantee success. Let's talk about the second shift that we've seen, the green imperative. Decarbonize or get left behind. Mining companies don't just need to extract minerals. They need to do it in a way that doesn't wreck the planet. And let's be honest, some are doing a better job than others. Decarbonization is no longer optional. From switching to renewable energy to investing in carbon capture, companies are racing to clean up their operations. The problem, it's expensive, it's complex, and not everyone is convinced that the industry is moving fast enough. The third shift that I think we'll see, and you already know it's coming, it's AI, artificial intelligence. If it's not coming for your mine, at some future date, it's definitely coming for certain jobs in the sector. But I think in 2025, we won't see a lot of that. Tech is changing everything. AI, automation, and machine learning are reshaping how we explore, extract, and process minerals. AI-driven exploration is cutting down search times and costs. Predictive maintenance is reducing downtime and boosting efficiency. I'm sure CFOs love to hear that. Autonomous trucks and drills are making operations safer and more precise. So as time goes, we'll continue to see a decline in mine-related incidents. But here's the real debate. What happens to the mining jobs? The industry says that AI is not about replacing workers, it's about making them more efficient. But we've heard that story before, right? The reality is job roles will change, and companies that invest in training and upskilling their workforce will be the ones that thrive. The fourth thing on this list is ESG. ESG is under pressure, but sustainability is here to stay. ESG has, for the last 7 years or so, it's been the hottest acronym in mining. But the political winds are shifting, and suddenly, not everyone is on board. Investors and regulators are still demanding responsible mining. But the way ESG is framed is changing, and maybe for the better. Some still see it as a box-ticking exercise. Others argue that sustainability should be a given, not a buzzword. The truth is that sustainability has always been fundamental to mining, and it always will be. The companies that treat it as a long-term strategic matter rather than a compliance issue will come out ahead. Part of the reason this channel exists is to provide education to young talent and also to help address some of the issues around recruitment, which leads me to the fifth issue, the talent crisis. Mining needs a makeover. The mining industry has a people problem, a massive skills shortage, and younger generations are not exactly lining up to join the workforce. Why is that? Well, I think mining has an image problem. It's seen as old school, dirty, and dangerous. But in reality, today's mines are data-driven, high-tech, and they are packed with automation. The challenge is the perception that the industry still has. On top of that, we're also seeing an AI-driven shift in the workforce. Companies need to train their employees in data or digital literacy, automation, and advanced analytics. The future belongs to companies that invest in people, not just machines. Now, the seventh shift is supply chain. The supply chain shakeup. Supply chains in mining have always been complex, but now they're downright unpredictable. Whether it's geopolitics, trade wars, shifting alliances, all these things are forcing companies to rethink where and how they source their materials. Here's the new playbook. Miners are looking to friendlier jurisdictions for critical minerals. Partnerships and joint ventures are on the rise, and circular economy strategies are gaining traction. So you're recycling and reusing of metals. Companies that build resilience into their supply chain, for me, or at least in my mind, will be the ones that survive the next crisis. I've always maintained that mining is a people's business, so it's no surprise that the seventh shift speaks to mining leadership. As much as mining needs a makeover, I think mining leadership needs a reboot. Let's be real. The mining industry has been, for many, many years, run the same way for decades. But the old school top-down leadership style is definitely not cutting it anymore. Today's leader in the mining world needs to first be able to navigate volatility and uncertainty, then find ways to collaborate across industries and governments, and at the same time still lead this huge workforce that they normally are expected to lead, and inspire the workforce as well as to make them more adept to technological change. We are moving from a command and control model to one that values agility, innovation, strategic thinking. And the companies that embrace this shift will be the ones that lead the industry forward. The last shift that I think we'll see is the rise of nature-positive mining. Forget about just minimizing environmental damage. Imagine a world where mining can actually restore the environment. This idea, called nature-positive mining, is starting to gain traction, and I think in 2025 we'll see a lot more of that. We're starting to see efforts like biodiversity offsetting, which creates new habitats to balance mining's impact. Land rehabilitation, turning old mine sites into forest farms, even renewable energy hubs. Water conservation using AI to monitor and reduce usage. This is not just good PR, it's good business. So companies that prove they can mine responsibly will have a long-term competitive advantage. And as I mentioned earlier, sustainability is not going anywhere. So With all of those things said, where does it leave the sector? For me, the bottom line is that you can either adapt or be left behind. So for a mining executive on the go, this is how I would think about these shifts. So as you're perfecting your swing, maybe think about one, capital discipline. This is critical. Investors want results, and I think only the smartest deals will get funding. Sustainability is not going anywhere. ESG may fizzle out, but not sustainability. Tech will separate winners from the losers. AI, automation, data-driven decision-making, these things need to be embedded in your business. Flexibility is the new superpower. Understanding markets, regulations, and geopolitics, these things change fast, so adaptability is everything. The industry is at a crossroads, and the choices we make now will define mining for the next decade. So what do you think? Are these, in your view, the biggest trends? And if they're not, maybe in the comments you can add things that you think are going to have a big impact on the sector. Just a favor to ask, if you found this video useful in any way, I'd appreciate you sharing with just one person, introduce them to Mining 901. With that, I really do appreciate your watch time. I appreciate the support that you're giving to what you're trying to do. So I cannot wait to see you in the next video. Until then, take care.